What's news, Artifam? This is Artifact News coming to you with episode number 20, Project Animus Update. How crazy is it, right? If you've been following along for the last couple episodes, you know that we've been talking a lot about the Animus Wolves. So to not only get a recent update on Project Animus, but on the Wolves specifically, that was so crazy. You know, I was completely freaking out and just going ballistic on Twitter about it because they really killed it. Like, it was better than I was expecting the Wolves to look. I'm really digging the art style and the design that they have going on for Animus right now. I hope they stick with it and keep up with it because it is just on track right here to be one of the coolest looking video game IP that I've probably ever seen, to be honest. Like, if you take a look at the wolf and you take a look at like the Murakami DNA that they recently released, and then some of the other prototypes that they have for the other creatures, it's just looking amazing. And how is it all going to work? There's so many structural questions that we still really don't have answers to, you know, such as, is there going to be a public sale? How many eggs are going to be sold there? For what price are they going to be sold? And when are they going to be sold? When will the eggs reveal? There's a ton of questions. Are they going to be linked to the DNA? I mean, that is one of the bigger questions for me too. How is that going to play? How's that going to play in? Because I'm really hoping that at some point the Clone X that you hold will have some kind of relationship with the Animus that you own. And it seems like that is going to be the case because we'll look at some of the tweets, but if you look at the Animus FAQ, it does say something about how you will have more interactivity if you're a clone holder with the Animus than you will if you do not have a clone. So there must be something going on there, right? But anyway, we don't have that information, but I'm sure at some point we're going to get it. But in this episode, first we're going to talk about the Animus. That's what you came here for. And then we're going to get into some news just kind of around the ecosystem and take a look at some of the recent partnerships. And specifically one of these tweets that Sam, the CTO of Artifact, responded to one of my recent tweets where I sent a barrage of questions. And Sam sent back some really interesting answers. And I think you're going to want to hear those and hear some of the philosophies behind what he could mean by those answers. It's definitely pretty interesting. So that's the second thing we're going to talk about. And then the last thing we're going to talk about is what's next, top 10. So we're basically just going to go over, kind of like we did in the Artifact 2023 video, where it was a top 10 of things that I'm looking most forward to. We're going to revisit that. And I'm probably going to do that more in the future too, just to kind of calibrate and to keep up to date what we're looking forward to most. Because those things can shift around all of the time. And they have shifted since the 2023. So that's going to be really interesting to talk about that. But one thing I want to talk about here, because we're not really going to get into it in the heart of the video, is some really groundbreaking news for video games in general. Microsoft has now a clear pathway to acquiring Activision. $69 billion deal, by the way, which is the largest in video game history. And it's, you know, during this bear market, of course, like, it seems all of the big dogs are out here scrambling around trying to get in position for whatever the evolution or the revolution of video games that I believe is coming, that involves more digital ownership and metaverses. And that's going to be a full-on battle for people's attention at some point. And Microsoft was on the verge of just flat out dying in some way, the video game division. And it might have been a little bit of a psyop because Phil Spencer was out there talking about how Sony won the console wars, and he was like waving the white flag, which now looks like that might have just been a maneuver to get the people in charge of approving the merger to think that Microsoft was weak so that they would allow the merger to happen. I don't really know, but they definitely have been behind Sony in the recent years. And it really comes down to IP. And that's why I really believe that Nike and Artifact are in such a great position here, because, man, I feel like they're just ahead of the curve. A lot of these other companies are very big. And it's like those, that battleship analogy where it's just really hard to turn a battleship. There's so much bureaucracy involved and everything. And I know Nike is somewhat of a battleship also. But they have a really fast little warboat out there called Artifact that's super agile. And it's just able to act on whatever the latest and greatest tech is. And that's what Artifact's doing. And, everybody always talks about, like, does Nike even really need Artifact? And, are they even going to, like, promote Artifact or whatever? Which I think they already have with the AF1, right? The dual logo. Like, they don't put anybody else's logo on one of their flagship silhouettes, but they did with Artifact. So if you ask me, they're showing respect. But, I mean, they're basically like, I already said it before. It's like Bugatti and Volkswagen, right? I mean, Volkswagen owns Bugatti. Bugatti is just like the R&D arm. And that's basically what Artifact is for Nike. Super agile, super flexible, ahead of the game. They're going to be to digital ownership before Microsoft, Disney. And I mean, Epic does have some Web3 games out there. But I think for their major flagships, like, definitely like Fortnite, I feel like, Artifact is going to have such a lead on those teams because they're going to be so reluctant to adopt digital collectibles. And Artifact's going to already be all the way there. And not only are they going to be very far ahead in terms of digital collectability, but also in terms of augmented reality. Because, I mean, I don't even know, like, Microsoft has the HoloLens and Sony does have the PSVR. But, I don't know. I mean, I guess Disney is working with Apple, in the Vision Pro. So, I don't know. We'll see how it all goes. Apple's definitely pretty advanced with AR. But in terms of AR design, I feel like Artifact is in the upper echelon. And I haven't seen a whole lot better than what Artifacts produce in terms of AR. So, in general, this acquisition from Microsoft is just showing how important digital IP and digital interactive entertainment is. Because, I mean, these brands have 50 million, 100 million people showing up every year. And I hate to say this because people kind of take this the wrong way sometimes, but think about this for a second. A video game is kind of like the new mall. And that's a weird thing to say, but a video game is almost like a mall at this point. Like, you show up, there are your friends, you hang out, you get to wear different gear and floss like different gear with them socially. And, you hang out and have fun and everything. But at the end of the day, there's a bunch of stores around you too, right? So, like, when you show up to Call of Duty, and you can show up to Warzone, for instance, it's free to play. Just like the mall was free to go to. And you can hang out with your friends and have a great time and stuff. But also, there just happens to be a nice little store right there for you. And we all know the number. $5.8 billion is how much Fortnite made in, I believe it was 2022. Might have been 2021, but there's a lot of money changing hands on just a little store, right? I mean, Fortnite store is not unbelievably amazing. It's definitely it's a cool store. but it's not like unbelievable. And I have a feeling like in the future, the stores are going to be even more captivating than that. I mean, that's a 2D store. What if in the future the stores are 3D? I mean, if you've seen Ready Player One, that seemed like a pretty amazing store there where he walks in and it's, you know, it's 3D and you can see like this great display of items that's very enticing to shop at. But anyway, even right now, Fortnite's doing $5.8 billion a year with that one store on a free-to-play game. People show up, hang out with their friends, and then they swing on through the store and spend $15 on a skin. So the battleground now is Disney, Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, and now Nike and Artifact. Everyone is going to be battling to have people come to your mall, right? They want you to come to their store or to their experience that happens to have a store in it. They want you there. So the battle for your attention, the battle for your time is going to become even more crucial. So now Microsoft just made the deal of a lifetime here. Because they're going to have Call of Duty, Halo, World of Warcraft, Minecraft, Diablo, Hearthstone, Heroes of the Storm, Overwatch. I mean, I don't even know. There's probably even more. I mean, one of my favorite that they have is Cuphead, but yeah, they now are safe. They have secured their spot in whatever evolution of interactive entertainment is coming. Sony, we probably haven't seen the last move that they've made. They did purchase Bungie, which was an insanely amazing move on their part, because I think Bungie is probably the premier first-person shooter developer out there. The physics and just the gameplay and everything that they can create is unbelievable. So, you know, they have Bungie, they have God of War, they have Spider-Man, Uncharted, Horizon, Ratchet and Clank. They definitely have some good IP, but they're going to have to make some pretty strong moves now. And there was some very sketchy talk about them looking into purchasing Take-Two Interactive, which is Grand Theft Auto. But I think that has been recently shot down, if I recall correctly. So there's still some very major IP out there that I believe Sony and Disney and, you know, Nintendo doesn't need to fight for anything because they have some of the best IP out there. Disney, you know, they have Marvel and Star Wars and Boba Fett and Mandalorian, and then they have all the Pixar stuff. So they're going to be looking good. But yeah, Sony's going to have to do a little bit of work, I think, right now to kind of shore up some of this. So, but either way, Artifact and Nike are in an amazing spot. Because even if all of those people just go wild with the development, Disney, Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft, how many of those avatars in those games are going to want to wear Nike shoes or Artifact crypto kicks? Or some of the gear, you know, that Nike and Artifact are developing. I mean, honestly, I think that's a pretty large market that Artifact and Nike are going to be able to distribute to. So I think they're in a really great spot, honestly. It's going to be very interesting to see how all of this rolls out. So, you know, with everything that's been happening with EA, Dot Swoosh, Microsoft, I mean, it's a very exciting time to be into digital entertainment. And gamers keep saying that they hate NFTs. And I just, you know, as a very long-time gamer here, I hope they can come to their senses more quickly, because we can't keep doing this every time. Like, every time there's a new technology, gamers for some reason are super, super hesitant to pick up on the meta. which is pretty wild because gamers are known for picking up on metas. So we need to get quicker at it. Because, listen, you're a gamer, probably. Every gamer hated DLC, right? All of them hated microtransactions. I mean, so much, like even worse than they hate NFTs. For years, they were just shouting down any video game that had a microtransaction, any game that had anything to do with DLC. And now look where we are. Fortnite and Modern Warfare Warzone, they're free to play. And they're surviving strictly off of microtransactions. So where are the gamers now? Like, where are all the gamers that completely hated on that? And now the two biggest games in the world, basically, are free to play. And they're surviving off microtransactions. So clearly, gamers blew that out of the water, and they were incorrect, because it did turn out that microtransactions was a really great idea, because it allowed developers to release huge, insane games for free. And they're great. They're great games. So yeah, I think the same thing here with NFTs, and I'll just keep saying it, but at the end of the day, the difference between Web3 and Web2 is the ability to own items. That's it. There's not a whole lot of other trickiness to it. So you just have to ask yourself a question if you're a gamer. Would you rather own an item or lease it? That's the only question that needs to be asked right here. That is all NFTs are. Like, forget NFTs, digital collectibles, whatever. Just structurally, the fundamental idea is that you're going to own versus traditional gaming where you lease. And you got to say own there. I don't even know why anybody would say you only want to lease. And what does owning mean? It means the ability to sell or to give that item away. So there's been a lot of soulbound tokens floating around there, and that seems to be like kind of a new meta here. But like, to be honest, I'm not hugely in favor of this, because the whole idea of digital ownership is about owning. And to own something, you have got to be able to sell it or give it away. So if it's a soulbound token, like the Tiffany box or the Dior shoes, that is not, you don't own that. Because if you can't sell it or give it away, you don't, in my definition anyway, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, maybe there's a different definition, but from what I know, to own something, you have to be able to sell it or give it away. And if you can't, then you don't own it. So anyway, there's a lot of excitement. Artifact and Nike are in a great spot. We're going to talk about Animus. We're going to talk about some things happening around the ecosystem. And then we're going to get into a top 10 things of what's coming next. So let's dive in. Thank you for joining me for episode number 20. Let's do this. Okay, so let's just dive into the title of the video, which is the Project Animus Update. Here we go. All right, so Animus, Project Animus, right? This is just a full-blown IP launch from Artifact. This isn't really just some little tiny collection or some offshoot collection. This seems like this is a full-blown effort here to launch something massive. We don't have a ton of information lately, and we've all been kind of asking for it, and it was so cool because then Artifact just recently delivered. And you know, before we get necessarily into what they delivered, while they were delivering it, Zap was super fired up, and he was like, "Unstoppable energy is coursing through the Artifact lab. Clones are the architects of this new reality we are building. We're advancing our universe and forging the future together." You know, when I first read this, I was like, clones are the architects of the new reality. Does that mean like this new reality and the Animus is going to be built on the backs of the clones? And kind of give that God tier vibe to everything. So that's what I was thinking. But you know, he also could just be talking about the Clone X community, because there's so many like great builders in the community. Maybe he's talking about that. But I really kind of like the idea that Animus was going to have something really to do with clones, and clones being the architects of that. So I might have been looking into it too much, but he dropped it during the Animus rollout. That's why I kind of went there with it. Also, Mark Zuckerberg dropped Threads, which was pretty crazy, right? To compete with Twitter. And then, which was such a smart move here. It was really cool. Artifact, their very first thread. Boom. The wolf character card. And like I said before, like if you've been following along with this channel, we've been really talking about the wolves in the last 2 episodes a lot. Like, right? Just want to know what is going on with these wolves. I mean, a couple of the questions I have, you know, is just like, where are these wolves? Because Orbitar blew up. So are the wolves on a new planet? Are they on the planet that we are going to be going to? And if so that's pretty cool. We're already getting some foreshadowing for the new planet, which is pretty amazing. I mean, are the wolves like running the show at the new planet? It seems like they could be. I like the idea of that, but look at this. The design is just so, it's right up my alley. Like, this is the kind of design I love right here, this kind of character design. So it's looking a lot better, a lot cooler than a lot of the games that I've been playing, or that my kids have been playing, the ones that I've been seeing anyway. Like, I've been playing a lot of God of War, Ragnarok, but my kids are playing like Jedi Survivor and Elden Ring and stuff like that. But like, this looks cooler. This looks like more fun and something I'm going to be interested in playing right here. Which is crazy, because that's like some super futuristic clothing design. And then when you know, like, so this looks great, this character, but then you have INVTRY, the inventory app, which looks better than a lot of inventory systems that I've been seeing in video games. And then you have like the Murakami Animus that looks better than other characters I've seen, and it's designed by one of the most well-known artists in the world. Like, they're off to like an amazing start here. This is crazy. And how about this piece that this wolf is wearing right here with the huge zipper for the left paw? Is that left paw going to be like some secret strike or some like special move or something like that? Because it doesn't look like it's on the right side. But it looks epic, right? Are we going to be able to forge that thing? Huh? 37 ETH or what? Because it looks super intricate. I think it would be prohibitively expensive, but it looks amazing. But 3 tails. It looks like it's got 3 tails going on, which is interesting. Maybe that's just 3 different looks. At 3 different tails, and you know, just kind of like a concept. But this wolf and this character card, it's just their design. I'm just really feeling it. I really like the rollout so far. So that was the wolf character card. I mean, there's not too much else we can say about that other than it's one of the coolest characters I've seen, and I think it's going to play extremely well in a video game. The concept. So let's just go right to the trailer. You know, I'm going to remove myself here from the screen for a second. Wow. So yeah, I don't know why this video keeps stopping, but it does. And it's actually on a pretty good spot right here, because check this out. Look at that wolf there in 3D. It just looks so cool. And we're not going to dive into all of the characters here and get super analytical on what each of these characters could be or anything. There are some pretty good tweets out there. I know there's one from Anya where she kind of looks at each of the characters. And there's a couple other people too in the community that got a little bit more in depth with the characters, but I don't see a whole lot of signs for DNA necessarily in here. So I'm still wondering how that's going to factor in, right? And I mean, there does look like there's a little angel here over the right wing of the shark. on the left side of the screen. He looks a little angelish, but I'm not seeing a whole lot of other aspects other than this thing that's right behind me. Definitely looks a little bit like a robot, but no clear indicators that there's definitely going to be DNA involved. But the characters look great. And you know, I wanted to talk about something because somebody, Singularity, here it is, Singularity X dot swoosh at Dr. J.C. Bell. He brought up a really good point here. And he brought to our attention something peculiar about the picture released by Artifact. It appears the Animus are on the run from the authorities, and news agencies have issued a public warning. Are they being framed for the destruction of Orbitar? Have they escaped a containment facility? What will become of the Animus? And, you know, like you can see here. Okay, we're going to move this around a little bit. But the shark, he's holding an egg. And he's like, you know, holding it like just straight up like some kind of running back right here. So like he grabbed the egg, he's on the run, and the real telling sign here is that you can see the cop cars in the distance. And up on the screen, up here to the left, breaking news. I mean, it says King News, but it's breaking news. And it's showing the Animus on the news. Which that seems to mean, like, you know, the society or wherever, whatever city they're in, it's an all hands bulletin here to try to get these Animus. And it looks like they have an egg. So is that, I wonder if that's the egg from the wolves. Remember? Gosh, I don't have it on the screen at the moment, but the wolves, they had an egg in that poster. And now I'm wondering, like, was that a like foreshadowing for this moment here? I mean, let's take a look at it here. So we see like, I don't know if it's exactly the same wolf. I mean, here he's got the right arm coming out. Maybe there's just in each side of the jacket, there's zippers for the arms. Yeah, it looks like it. So it looks like these wolves here found this egg. Now, does that mean that that's the same egg? I could see that being tied in there. That this wolf over here on the right alerted the rest of the Animus crew here that they found an egg. Maybe it's a special egg. They picked up the egg. They're running with it, and then the authorities want that egg for some reason. Maybe it's like some god tier egg. Or something like that. But that's definitely pretty interesting. I don't know. So, other than that, I mean, what do we got? We got the wolf character card, which is showing us, it's showing me anyway, that they're exceeding my expectations on the design already. Because that character card, I don't know, that character looks better than all of the characters I'm seeing in video games right now. Especially when you throw in the Murakami Animus also. So the design's looking killer. Also, they dropped the trailer giving hints at the storyline, which seems that the Animus are on the run. And that the wolf seems to be running with them, which runs a little contrary to what I was thinking. I was thinking that maybe the wolves were going to be in a battle with the Animus, just because of like how nefarious they look. But apparently they're running with them. So that's interesting. And then also this must be foreshadowing for this new city that we're going to be in. Right? I mean, this one looks more like a neon city or like a cyber city, which is pretty interesting because I would expect that it's going to be a solar city wherever we're going to. But I mean, is this that city? Is this our first look at wherever we're going to right here? Because it's definitely not Orbitar. So, and how did that shark get off Orbitar? I mean, I guess maybe that shark got off Orbitar and went straight to wherever this planet is. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of questions, right? Also, there was another question I had here in terms of Animus eggs, anyway, for mint vial holders. So it does say in the FAQ that mint vial holders are going to get an egg, but that it's going to be closer to the public sale. We don't know when that public sale is going to happen. But one thing about that is, you know, we're all wondering, like, do the eggs have anything to do with the DNA? And okay, so this is kind of hard to explain, but this is a little subtle here. Does this give us a hint as to whether the Animus will be based on DNA at the outset? Like, if you have a mint vial, your mint vial doesn't have any DNA. So if they're going to give you an egg for your mint vial, that kind of must mean that the egg doesn't have any predetermined DNA, because neither does your mint vial. So it seems like that should be established as a rule then, that the eggs that were given to your clones probably don't have DNA associated with them at this point. Because if they're giving eggs to mint vial holders, the mint vials don't have any DNA. So that would be tricky. I could be wrong about that or thinking about it in the wrong way, but it seems to me like that establishes a rule there. So anyway, I thought that was something to bring up there. And it does mention in the FAQ that anyone can own an Animus, but owning a clone allows for more interaction with the Animus or egg. So probably the hibernation and incubation and that kind of thing. So who knows? Maybe some linking. We've heard about that too. So it's very exciting. But yeah, that's it really. That's about all we have for the Animus update. We don't have any of the core structural stuff that we all are dying for, right? Like, when can we see the first Animus? When does a public sale happen? How much is the public sale going to be for the eggs? What type of, is this going to be a game? Is this going to be, is it going to be like Pokemon Go? Is it going to be an AR? Is it going to be a 2D game? Is it not even going to be a game? What is going on with all of this, right? So it's exciting. We're just going to have to be patient, really. But I'm definitely fired up where the future's going here. And I'm sure we'll be getting many more drops and information along the way. So until then, let's move on to the next segment. All right. All right, now that we've looked in the Project Animus update, we're just going to go around the horn here basically and just look at other news that has happened related to Artifact or just in the ecosystem in general. One of the first things we're going to talk about, though, is definitely related to Artifact, and that is the Artifact Shu Uemura collab, which is a huge deal, right? Because Shu Uemura was purchased by L'Oreal, I believe, in 2004. And it's so cool. Like, you can see here under the left eye, of the blue-haired girl. And it looks like they're going to be 3D stickers from what I've read. It could go a different way, but from what I've heard, it's going to be kind of like a 3D sticker application that you can put on to your clones that have like a makeup-ish vibe to them, maybe even in the hair, because I think there are some beauty products related to the hair with the Shuamura. So, but anyway, it's going to be kind of like a 3D sticker type thing that you can apply. So a cool collab with another super luxurious brand, basically. Yeah, like here's another collab that Shuamura has done. This is with Sailor Moon. It's a really cool set here. Got all kinds of different pieces here. I wonder if we might see something like this with Artifact at some point. Gosh, that would be pretty killer, right? I mean, if you're into makeup, like to have a really cool Artifact set would be amazing. So, yeah, I just wanted to show you one of the other collabs that they pulled off, just to kind of give you a little glimpse of what we might be able to see here. Here's another one with the Hello Kitty limited edition box. So that's another one of their collabs. And here's like on the L'Oreal group page where they talk about Shuamura a little bit and the heritage. And like, let's just go over it just for a second so you kind of better understand this a little bit. But Mr. Shu Uemura was a pioneer, an innovator, a visionary. Mr. Shu Uemura is the origin of the brand. Beyond a makeup artist, he was a pioneer, an innovator, and a visionary. Born in Tokyo in 1928, he was the first Japanese makeup artist in Hollywood. He was striving to liberate beauty with his cutting-edge makeup artistry, born from unimaginable creativity, producing high-quality products and crafted in Japan quality tools that have been astonishing the world ever since. To this day, Shuamura conveys a uniquely Japanese sensitivity towards beauty, an obsession with quality, precision, attention to details, while expressing its Japanese heritage with modernity. These are the origins of his unwavering passion as a beauty innovator. So that's the president there with the really sweet jacket on. And this is just a quote. I would like to dedicate to all the pleasure of enjoying makeup with free spirits. Find your own unique beauty by enhancing your personality. You will be even more beautiful if you enjoy makeup with freedom. That's the founder. So, yeah, I mean, here's the three pillars: cutting edge makeup artistry, Japanese mastership, and Asian expertise and inclusivity. So it's cool. I mean, it's just another art form, right? I mean, to be able to craft makeup to a luxurious level is what Mr. Shuamura has been focused on. And, you know, L'Oreal is a gigantic, one of the biggest, most well-known, prolific makeup companies in the world out of Paris. So once again, another cool strategic partnership, which is what Artifact is just killing lately, is siding with people that know what they're doing. It's really cool. So here's something else I wanted to get into. Now, Sam has just been really cool lately. I don't know what's up. Like, people are asking him questions and just kind of free flowing with it and having some fun with it. And somebody said something about like, you know, like that, how they were worried about asking questions to Sam, and he said, "Hey, don't worry, just ask." So then I just, you know, I took that opportunity to ask him a ton of questions. Well, really just like 7 questions. Okay. And like, we got to get into these because there's some weirdness going on here. There's like some cool details. So the first one, will inventory be a standalone app or incorporated into another program? So let's look at his answer to that. Sam says it's a standalone app. That's pretty big news. Okay, so why? I mean, maybe you were thinking that it was going to be a standalone app this whole time. Inventory, like you're going to download it from the Apple App Store or whatever. Okay, so but why? And like, how does that work? Because I was thinking that possibly it was going to be part of some game. You know? And they're talking about like Dot Swish is working with EA Sports. You know, then you have on Cyber. Like, there's no telling who Artifact is working with. At one point, Ben said that they were working with they were already in works with some big publisher. So, or big developer. So, like, I was very surprised to hear this was going to be a standalone app. Okay, so what's the second question? Can we have any details on incubation or hibernation? Sam answers hello. I don't know what that means. I think it's kind of like, hello, can't answer that. That's what I was thinking. 3, will we see the marketplace this year? Sam answers with 1 W. I don't know what that means, but it could just mean it has something to do with answer number 1, a standalone app. So the question was about a marketplace, and the answer was, hey, it has something to do with the standalone app, the INVTRY app. So that's huge. Is inventory tied in with a marketplace? A standalone app. Imagine you download the app from the App Store. You somehow are going to tie that into your wallet, into your digital wallet. And then that's going to read, God, maybe, I'm not sure how they're going to do that because I don't know that Apple is super fired up about digital collectibles just yet. I don't know that they really let people have digital collectibles or interact with digital collectibles on the App Store items just yet. But let's say that that's not a problem. So there's a standalone app. You're going to have it. It's going to have inventory on it. And it's going to have a marketplace. Wow. I mean, that's mind-blowing. Like, because what the heck is the marketplace going to entail? Like, are you going to be able to sell traits on it? Because we got another big piece of information, too, from Sam. And I don't want to forget this. He said that the hair, the eyes, and the mouth are not going to be changeable. Let me repeat. The hair, mouth, and the eyes of your clone are not going to be changeable. That's a really big deal. It has all kinds of implications for the value prop of different clones, right? Because some of them with rare hair now, it kind of changes the underlying value prop of that clone because you can't remove the hair, you can't sell it, you can't change it. But also, if you really like that hair, now you can only get that hair on certain clones. So it's kind of hard to figure out if that's going to be a positive or a negative thing. I mean, I guess it depends on what hair you have. And I guess the aesthetic that comes with it. Because like if you have really cool hair or rare hair, rare eyes, and like a mouth, and that all fits together and it looks good together, that could boost the value of your clone up because you can't change those things. So that's pretty interesting. Also, what else? So I guess you could sell clothes in the marketplace, and you're going to be able to buy and sell clothes. Maybe buy and sell like some of the digital collectibles that we've got so far. You know, whether it's a space strip or whatever. Are those things going to be sellable on there? It's interesting. And I don't want to get too far into the marketplace, but you know, what if Artifact were to just say, if they were to just say that you can't sell clones at Blur on blur.io. I'm not even sure if they can enforce something like that. They might be able to. And what if they just kind of kept it to themselves? And when it's like, hey, there's a marketplace. You want to buy a clone? You want to sell a clone? We have a marketplace. That's where you buy and sell clones at. And a lot of people might be like, no, man. That's not really Web3. Like, you want to be able to sell these things everywhere. And that's too centralized. Okay, I get that. Maybe you could provide incentivization then to sell them at your marketplace. Reduce the royalties or do something, give it like points or something if you sell it on the Artifact marketplace versus selling it on Blur or OpenSea or something like that. So this marketplace could have a bunch of weird implications. You know, I guess one of them is maybe Artifact can go more luxury boutique. You know, because if you know anything about Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Prada, right? Like, and I'm sure there's a bunch of other ones that I don't know. But they definitely regulate where their stuff is sold. You know, you're not going to see anything from those brands at many of the stores anybody goes to. You're probably either going to see those brands at standalone retail establishments, or you're going to see them at very high-end, like Saks Fifth Avenue type retail outlets. You know, and you might only see certain selections there because, you know, they might save their flagship pieces for their standalone retail stores or their online stores, and then dole out a couple of pretty good pieces to places like Nordstrom's, but Saks Fifth Avenue or whatever. So anyway, what I'm saying is luxury brands control where their stuff is sold. Artifact is trying to be a digital luxury brand. Maybe they could decide where these things are sold more and try to use their marketplace to incentivize people the right way. So you have Artifact possibly controlling their marketplace a little tighter. Are they going to introduce like creators? Are creators going to be able to sell things on this marketplace? Clone X creators in particular? I mean, you see Yuga just recently announced that they're going to be doing blockchain stuff to verify that the people that are selling Bored Ape Yacht Club merchandise are actually members of that club. Is Artifact going to do something like that? I don't know. Like, if you're a creator with an Artifact, can you possibly get your stuff onto their marketplace? That will be a huge deal. And also, clones. Can we sell our items on this marketplace? So 3 big questions related to the marketplace. And this is gigantic news here, if you ask me. So the next one was, is Artifact also working with EA and Epic? Sam's answer is jingle bells. All right, so clearly, does that mean that we're going to find out around Christmas? And I guess I was a little too generic there because I said EA or Epic. So maybe it could be one of those. Seems likely, just because Dot Swoosh is working with EA Sports. But also, it could just mean that they are working with a developer, and we'll find out who that developer is during Christmas. Or Jingle Bells was just a complete, just something silly that Sam threw out there. But it sounds like it's for Christmas. Okay, what is the next one? Will the type of Animus you reveal have anything to do with your clone DNA? And the answer is wait for the release of the Animus website for more info on that. Gosh, man. 2 things. First, there's an Animus website coming, and I can't wait to see that. That's going to be a freaking huge day. It'll be all over that site. I hope there's a ton of information on that site. But also, this makes me think that, yes. And I might just be being hopeful there. But it sounds like he could have said no here. There would have been a window to say no here. But he didn't say no, so it's making me lean towards yes. But we're going to wait for more info. Can't wait. Hope they tell us when the site's coming out. Okay. What's the next one? Let's see. Is Artifact working on anything related to the Vision Pro? For instance, an app that lets us view AR-related content. And Sam says, of course. So, like I said, it was kind of a softball question, and Sam just knocked it out of the park there, so that's cool. What's the next one? Can you share any details on Move to Earn? Man, this is where the plot thickens again. Boom. 2A. I'm not sure what A or W mean, but let's just look at number 2. 2 here says hello. 2 had to relate to, can we have any details on the incubation or hibernation? So, logically, this must mean that Sam's trying to imply that Move to Earn is going to have something to do with incubation and hibernation. And I believe it was Uncle Penny. I'm sorry if it's wrong, but Uncle Penny's kind of put it together and was saying, yeah, so maybe this means that you can run with your shoes or something to spur maybe incubation or hibernation. So your activity on Move to Earn could have something to do with the incubation of the egg or the hibernation. So that's pretty crazy. I didn't see that coming, that the Move to Earn would have anything to do with that at all. So yeah, that, you know, hey, thank you, Sam. If you're watching this, thank you for those answers. That was fun, and it was just cryptic enough, and feel like we've learned some interesting things. And I'm not holding anybody to any of it, but it was good to have some cool new information to think about. So yeah, and there was this one too that was kind of related to the Vision Pro. And Sam basically kind of hinted here where he said, well, there is clearly still some work to do and iterative work because some stuff only include hardware being released next year. I'll let you figure out what it is. So yeah, it sounds like they're pretty heavily working on this Vision Pro right now. Whatever activation that might be. So I'm not sure what it's going to be, but there's so much potential there, and they're so amazing at augmented reality that that's such a perfect fit. It's going to be amazing to see. So there's some more Shu Uemura stuff. Oh yeah, and then, you know, another thing that happened was there's some amazing new Ramoa case information. But really we're going to highlight him again. Just back to back on the show lately. But Ali, at AALASADY. Definitely follow him. Just dropping gems left and right. And here's another one. This is such a cool video. Let's check this out. I need to shrink myself though. Okay, here it is. This is a really cool video. Yeah, isn't that just amazing? I mean, like, that's just one of the creators within the Artifact community. Just busted that out. I mean, clearly, Ali is working professionally doing this for somebody. And I wouldn't doubt if he was doing it for Pixar or somebody, because he's, like, killing this. Look at this. So inventive. Even the idea that the Rimowa case would be used as some kind of, like, transportation device. I mean, that could speak to some future utility for that too, but it's just like, I don't know. It's just the rendering and everything's so amazing with this video really blew me away. So great work, Ellie, yet again. I think that's badass kawaii right there too. And gosh, okay. Could watch that all day, so. This is from the Artifact site here. This is showing, you know, hey, look, it turns out that we were kind of right. It wasn't a mech inside of the case, which I thought it was going to be, but I guess you could say this is a kind of a hybrid in between a mech and the worker bot, where they're kind of upgraded worker bots, and we have no idea what that's going to mean. I'm sure if there is some type of game, they'll have additional functionality. But gosh, there's so many layers at this point. Are the worker bots going to be involved in the game too? Is there any game coming? How are they going to? There's a lot to control at this point, but they look cool. I'm feeling it. Here's the last one. Yeah, so the AR capability again, like look at this. Like, is anybody doing stuff anywhere near this cool? I mean, it looks like it's super deep and crazy back there. Look at that, with inside the case. Like, I'm just so surprised that like Apple didn't just come knocking on the door of Artifact after seeing some of the stuff that they're capable of. So yeah, we saw that there was some upgraded worker bots inside of the cases, and then there was also this rune piece here, which you got a piece of this big puzzle also. So yeah, you know, I thought it would have been pretty cool if there was some other stuff inside of that case, but I think I'm going to do a drip drop review, and we'll talk more about all of the specifics of the case, but I just wanted to show you some of the stuff here that we've also seen. So yeah, so I think that's really it. That's about all we're going to really talk about here with in terms of news around the ecosystem. But I thought some of the stuff that Sam kind of put out there really got me pretty excited, because gosh, a marketplace, that is just going to be so next level right there, with so much new stuff to figure out, and it would be a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm fired up. So now, last but not least, let's dive into the top 10 of what is next to expect from the Artifact ecosystem. Let's do it. Now for the third and final segment in today's video, the What's Next Top 10. This is going to be a recurring segment every once in a while on the channel when we need to recalibrate what we're most excited about. We're generally going to stick to just short-term and medium-term time frame here. I don't want to get too FOMO-centric about things that are too out in the distance and, you know, too speculative. So we're going to deal with some things that we have kind of heard about or know about, and, you know, talk about those and kind of rank them based on that. Another thing you're not going to see in this video, if you watch the one from Artifact 2023 that I did, where I did a 10 things I was most excited about for 2023. Number 2 was the unexpected. I'm not going to do the unexpected here, even though that would surely rank super high again. I'm going to stick to some things that we know. That was a little esoteric, I guess, before. Now we're going to just keep it more grounded on things that we do know. So, okay, yeah, hey, let's dive in here. And I'm not going to spend too much time on each segment here. We're going to try to get through this in a relatively quick fashion, but I just want to just hit on them here. So number 10, let's get into that. Okay, so that is the creator highlights. And, Artifact is known for having the most stout creator base in the whole NFT ecosystem, if you ask me. I mean, look at some of the work that people have done. And it kind of stems from the founder's vision of being, providing the creators with the 3D files and really promoting the creativity within the community. And it's really smart too, because if we're ever going to build out Solar City or Cyber City, if you really think about it, you need small businesses, right? You need creators, you need people to jump in and populate the city and make it like a vibrant city that is worth hanging out in, and bringing those experiences. And as you can see from a lot of what you, even what you see here, super vibrant storytelling going on, to the point that it's just it's art at this point. Because I could imagine having these prints on my walls. The rendering is so beautiful on all of these. So I mean, these are just renders. But how much creativity is involved here too, because people are bringing in assets or creating assets and bringing those in. I mean, it's serious, man, and it looks amazing. So yeah, I don't know. I could look at this all day. I mean, once you get onto that render section, it's hard to leave it because some of the things are so cool. But you got 3D renders, experiences, community projects, animations, AR, VR, AI, music, fashion, illustration, pods, and in real life. So if you're a creator, if you're interested in becoming a creator in any of those aspects, it's super easy to jump into this, because everyone wants to help each other out and share knowledge. Because it's kind of easy to level up when everybody's sharing knowledge and stuff. And, they have a Discord with the creators where you can just jump in there and start asking questions and, get some great answers from people who are on a pro level with most of the stuff that they do. We literally have people in this community that are legitimate producers and directors and musicians and 3D artists and writers. We have all kinds of stuff going on in here. So you could probably pretty much get any answer you want. And on this site in particular, which is creators.artifact.com, so you can follow Artifact creators on Twitter. Yeah, there's Artifact creators right here. So you can follow them. I'm a creator. I filled out the paperwork and stuff, and it's not very hard. So you should, if you're interested, you should definitely jump in there, because you can get plugged in with some really cool people. So once again, here's Alice80's work at the top featured, but Alice80 was also featured on the OpenSea, because it's just how many cool things he's been busting out lately. The team's giving back and giving a lot of publicity, which they should, because it's just killer stuff. So anyway, there's a lot to be fired up about this. And once again, if you want to build a bustling city, Solar City or Cyber City, we're going to need creators. And, like most other big franchises, whether it's Dota or CSGO, Roblox is another big one, where creators actually help to define the experience in large part. And you still have the the idea and the vision from the founders. But then you have this mountain of just amazing creators that are also flourishing because they're making money and everybody's doing well. Like, it's a good thing anyway, and it's a lot to look forward to because moves are being made daily. All right, so now to feature another piece from Allie. This is the Vision Pro. So number 9 is the Vision Pro activation. And, you know, like we said earlier, we got to see there was that text from Sam where he was talking about, I asked, are you guys working on something for Vision Pro? And he said, of course. And then in that other tweet, Sam was saying basically that they're currently in work on something for Vision Pro. And he couldn't say what it was or anything like that, but he was saying that it was for hardware that's not yet released. I'll let you figure that out. So yeah, number 9 is the Vision Pro activation, because what could they be working on? We can speculate. Let's take a second here to speculate on that. I mean, you know, definitely bringing in the 3D assets that we already own into your reality. You know, like, so like if you own some crypto kicks, you own some sneakers, you own some, definitely your clone, but like, you know, a hoodie or whatever, being able to just bring that up and like place that in your environment somewhere, that would be completely sick if you could do that. I would love to have a digital shoe wall. I mean, if there was like some kind of artifact app or something on the Apple Vision Pro where when I select that app, it remembers where I put all of my digital items, that would be so sick. Because then I could literally, anytime I feel like being dripped out in an artifact environment, I can just press a button and then all the stuff I've collected is all on my walls. How much better would that be than what we have currently, which is, you want to see my shoe? Here it is on OpenSea, or here it is on the Artifact website. But man, if it's like, put on this headset, I'm gonna fire up the Artifact app and you can see all these shoes right here. That'd be completely killer, man. I really hope that they do that, but that would be cool. I could also see like, hey, somebody's wearing the Artifact hoodie and then you look at them and it activates, and now you can see the wings on them without having to hold your phone up. That'd be so much cooler. I mean, it would really bring it to life. So those are 2 ways I could see Artifact kind of implementing all of this. So yeah, Activision Pro, that's number 9. I'm fired up. Okay, now number 8. The gaming collab with EA and Epic. Right? Like, we saw Airforia. This is the Airforia trailer right here. Would have liked to see some clones in this, to be honest, but it's still a really sweet trailer. Whoever designed it did a great job. It's amazing. Looks really cool. The characters were cool for Fortnite. I think I know why, right? Like, they're trying to kind of keep Artifact and Nike separately, so I was just kind of playing with that. But yeah, Airforia was cool. I played it. I jumped in, did what I needed to do. Ran around Air Max City. It was really well designed. The whole experience was great. I really loved it. I thought they did a great job. So yeah, is Artifact going to collab with EA or Epic per Sam's tweet? Yes, jingle bells. Something's happening during Christmas. Is it EA? Is it Epic? Is it another founder or another developer? It could be. But it seems like something could be happening. But I just wanted to take a look real quick at these Madden shoes. I love these shoes. They look really sick. Man. Great. Yeah, if I could get those, get those. Those are for the new Madden. Right? So, yeah, the Air Max front and center on because the new Madden 24 cover was released, I believe, and now it's just like, yeah, here it is right here. The Madden 24 And you can see the Air Max got selected to be a collab with EA Sports and Madden. So now what does that mean, right? Are those shoes going to have a digital twin? Like if you get those shoes, can you have a digital twin? And if that's the case, also, maybe there's more digital twins. So maybe they're kind of hinting that Madden could have some dot swoosh interaction here. And we know dot swoosh is a ton of different shoes. Are those shoes going to be able to be at some point put onto the Madden characters? I would think maybe it's a little early for that. But who knows? Maybe there's going to be some types of interaction in some ways. But for them to already have the Air Max rolling out, it seems like something's happening. There's definitely some kind of integration happening right now. So how is that going to work for Artifact? We don't know. But after Sam's tweet, it does seem like there is something happening. And who knows what. But I'm excited for it. So that is number 8. The gaming collab with EA and Epic. All right, now on to number 7. Move to earn details. Okay, so really just have this one graphic here for move to earn. There wasn't a whole lot else on it, but you know, after Sam said what he said, which was it's going to have something to do with incubation and hibernation. So I have no idea where to go with this. Like, what does this mean? What are we earning? They said it wasn't going to be drip. There was going to be some kind of tokens or some kind of NFTs, or not tokens. It was going to be some kind of NFT. But they might even decide to change that. And like Sam kind of alluded to, maybe it just has something to do with progressing the skill set of your Animus or the development of your Animus or something like that. So this is going to be really interesting, and it seems like it's going to send a shockwave through the NFT community, because this is a pretty big activation, right? I mean, we're going to have really sick, futuristic, crazy shoes on with the CIRLs, and they're going to have a move to earn aspect, and that move to earn is going to affect NFTs. So super futuristic shoe doing all this futuristic stuff in the NFT community, it's going to be a big deal. I don't even think a lot of people even know it's coming, but it's coming, and it's going to be pretty big. So that's number 7. Number 6, the MNLTH X reveal. And yeah, I mean, we all know about all the drama. We're not going to get into that, right? Because now it's a new day for the MNLTH X. And I feel like it's got to be a redemption, right? Time to redeem the monolith concept. The smartest thing I think they could do, granted maybe they have something better planned, but in my opinion, is keep this thing perpetual. Once per year, release something out of the monolith and make it an event. Nothing crazy, but make it kind of a deal, like that the monolith reveal's coming. And have it be kind of like some kind of holiday or some kind of like special day that everybody looks forward to every year. The monolith reveal. I mean, it doesn't have to happen on the same day necessarily, but you know, once a year, have something reveal from this and keep it perpetual forever until the project shuts down. Because it could really do some pretty weird thing. It would even be good just for an experimental purpose to see what that does to the value of the monolith once people know that it's truly going to be perpetual. Because the reason why the floor sank on it right now is because people are still wondering, is it perpetual or is it not? Because if it's perpetual, then it definitely has different value than if it's likely to produce another lace engine or just have a sudden stop again. So 2 totally different value props. Market's confused right now. They want to know where this is going. My suggestion is keep it perpetual. Once per year, release something from it. And maybe even just put a little team on that. The little MNLTH X team. And have them come up with something interesting to come out of it every year. Whatever that might be. So anyway, that's number 6. All right. Now let's move on to number 5. The marketplace. So this is the fabled picture that is still on the website. They might want to change this, or maybe it's just a relic of the yesteryear, but this is the 2022 wearables marketplace. Let's take a look at what it says here. A place to customize your clone, get new wearables and drops, and trade with your clone friends. That's going to be interesting, because I think if you trade an NFT, it may be a taxable event. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. So can you trade? Can you sell it on the marketplace? Because it looks like you can purchase things. Because you can get a place to customize your clone. So that's the inventory app. So this kind of outlines inventory a little bit, because it's a place to customize your app, which is what we saw from inventory. That's the customization. Also, you can get new wearables and drops. Gosh, man, this sounds really sick, by the way. This whole inventory marketplace thing. And it's a place to trade with your clone friends. So how can you trade? Can you sell things? Can you not? Can you buy things? I don't know. This is another earthquake. Okay, just like Muth to Earn, I think is like kind of under the radar right now, and it's going to be a bigger deal than people think. I think if they do MNLTH X right, I think that could be a bigger deal than people think. And it's certainly this marketplace, I think, is going to catch a lot of people by surprise, because, you know, I don't know that people are even understanding that this is about to shake up the industry right here. So I'm fired up for it. That's number 5. And right on the heels of that is number 4, inventory. So, yeah, inventory, right? I mean, this is everybody's dream right here, is more information on inventory. I mean, it just looks incredible. I mean, everybody, anytime I post the picture of inventory, people are always say something about it. Just like how, like, thank you for reminding me of this idea, because it looks so good. Look at that. I mean, those are amazing Nikes right there too. In this sick, perfectly designed app that has like great movement to it. It's got great sound effects. It's got some quirky, cool things, you know, like equip, gallery, overview. There's a rarity feature to it. And you know, this is a concept that was done a long time ago. That they probably could like iterate on this already and do something even cooler too. But it looks better than, man, it looks better than all the games I've seen lately. And I've seen all of the major games lately. And this looks way better. Like way better. So, yeah, that app that comes out, they have a real opportunity here to just smash this. And if that app looks good, and if it looks anything like this, and it's got a marketplace where you can sell things, trade things, and stuff like that, dude, watch out. People are gonna freak. So I could talk about inventory all day, but that's number 4. Number 3, the AF1 drop. I mean, hard not to be super excited about this. And it's coming at some point this year. I don't know if it was in August, I believe, which actually is kind of right around the corner. And man, look at these things. They look so good, and I think it's really gonna freak people out once they actually have these in hand. Because I'm telling you, like, I was lucky enough to get those defaced AF1s, okay? When I opened that box, man, those things are the crispiest shoes I've ever seen in my life. Like, seriously, straight work of art. And, I mean, not only the defaced artwork, but the crispiness of the shoe. It was just something I hadn't seen before, where it's just so thoroughly crafted. I don't know how to explain it really, but yeah, it's just really well crafted. You can just tell everybody involved really cares about it. So I think people are gonna freak out when they open those boxes, because I did. You know, I wasn't necessarily loving the box, the AR box, because I wanted each of the artists to have designed the boxes, but the box was still sick. But it would have just been over the top if it was like the Fuel box, where all of the artists were actually designing each of their boxes. So I was a little like, okay. But then as soon as I opened that and saw the shoe, it was like, oh my God, this is like a work of art. Didn't even really want to touch it. The laces, the tongue, like everything is just so freaking nice. Like, wait till you guys see those shoes. It's going to blow your minds. And it's going to blow a lot of the community's minds too. So, yeah, I'm fired up for this. There's going to be a lot of people freaking out on Twitter and Threads over this. You can believe that. So that's number 3. And then number 2, the CIRL drop. And yeah, I mean, this is kind of controversial, I guess, right here, because like putting this over the AF1s, but you know, move to earn. This has the move to earn mechanic, so it kind of takes a little steam that way, and it propels it to number 2. Plus, it's just a crazy, super futuristic shoe, and I can't wait to see all the features on it and try it on, see the self-lacing, see the cool lights underneath it. I love the little pad that comes with it. The wireless charging pad will be cool to see. The space matters. Look at those things. Man. Those are going to be crazy. I can't wait. Cannot wait. And then there's the stones. Let's get these a little larger. We'll go back through it one more in a second, but yeah, they look insane, and it legit is the most futuristic shoe in the world. So how can you hate on that? And then, I don't know, I would think we're probably going to hear some stuff about move to earn, because they did say that was kind of something that was associated with the shoes. So they'll have to say something about that. I don't know if they're going to roll out the whole thing to us, but it seems like they'll say something about move to earn when these shoes come out. So yeah, super fired up about the CRLs. I mean, no doubt. Let's get a larger view of the space matters real quick. Yeah, the color scheme on this and just the thoughtfulness and like the amount of decisions that went into this. Yeah, I love these. I think those are going to be pretty rare. And by the way, all these shoes are probably going to have some kind of weird effect if they ever get in game. Like the ice, right? Well, what's the deal with the ice? Well, you can see in this video that this character, he's wearing the ice, okay? And he's gonna jump, wall ride, straight through the FUD barrier, boom. Okay, but now we're gonna see some magnetic levitation here. Which is pretty cool. They kind of got that concept from, you know, like if there's like maglev trains and stuff, and it has something to do with like the cold enough temperature that you can get magnetic levitation. So I don't know. What are the space matters going to do if these things have magnetic levitation? I don't know. You know, if you've ever played the Nike Roblox game, you go into this like little Nike store in there, and all of these different shoes you can put the shoes on, and they just do different things for your character. So, you know, some of them let you jump higher, some of them let you move faster. So yeah, who knows? Who knows what characteristics they might have? But I'm fired up, and I think it leads to more info on Move to Earn. So that's why it's number 2. And number 1, we already talked about it. But it is good old Animus. Have to do it, right? Right now, just like it just jumped in hype factor to number 1 with these new announcements, with the artwork looking as great as it does, with this great trailer. The story is kind of developing now, with the Animus looking like they're possibly on the run. And I don't know, the whole idea of the Animus concept, it looks like it's gonna be like on par at least with Clone X in terms of just hype factor and amount of resources dedicated to the project. So hey, Pokemon is a $92.8 billion IP. So I mean, is anybody are they gonna overtake Pokemon? Who knows, right? That's not an easy thing to do, but it doesn't matter. You don't need to overtake it. 92.8 billion, that's insane. It just shows that there's a lot of love out there for the ability to raise and care for digital pets, and then those pets being able to interact in a competitive way, you know, and with cool artwork and stuff like that. If you nail a couple of the pillars, cool artwork, good gameplay, a good story, and then you stick with it for years, yeah, it could be as big or bigger. You know, I really love the design that Artifact have, and their AR and everything else. They have everything that a lot of the other IP have out here, but they have it, oh man, to the next level, I think. They just don't have the amount of development time that other IP have put in, and they don't, you know, like, they're younger, the IP is, Clone X and Animus, but man, they have way more going on, if you ask me. So they're gonna go pretty far, pretty fast. So yeah, I don't know, Animus is number 1. So that's the top 10 things I'm looking forward to. And I'm not sure about you, but hey, leave a comment in the description below. Like, what are your top 10 things that you're looking forward to? Because, man, I don't know. There's a lot going on, and I would like to know what you think too. Yeah, so once again, here's the cops chasing the Animus in the background. And there's a close-up of the wolf. Okay, cool. So yeah, that is it. That is it for episode number 20. Hey, so thank you so much for joining me for episode number 20, the Project Animus Update. I hope you learned some things here. We went over a lot of different topics, for sure. But hey, it's exciting to be in this industry right now. And I know we're in the bear market and it's tough, but you know, we just continue to build and to stay focused on where the potential is. And as you can see from that Microsoft acquisition today, like, things are going more digital, and digital collectability is going to become more and more of a thing as we move forward here. So I think patience and just having fun with what we have while we have it. You know, we're in the early days. It's going to be fun at some point to look back at the early days and say, yeah, I was there when things were looking bleak, but I stuck in there and now things are looking amazing. So Yeah, I mean, everything went through it. Comic books went through it, where everybody was saying that they were evil and they were trying to shut down comic books and parents hated them. And then video games, with the ET disaster, when everybody was like, oh, video games are a bad bet, let's get out of it. And video games had a rough time for a while. But like, look at where comic books and video games ended up. Like, they're leading the culture. They're leading in all aspects. So yeah, just got to stick in there and be patient. And, if you can, as always, like, subscribe, tell some people. Now, YouTube is lowered from 1,000 to 500 to where you can kind of get monetized or start doing some cool things. One of them is you can start a community. So I would love to start a community. We got to get to 500 to get there, though. So it's going to take a little bit, but whatever. I really appreciate you being here. No joke. And I will see you next episode. So go news yourself.